Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Brent Bowers and this is My Money. Now, undoubtedly, you have probably received your third stimulus check within the last couple of weeks. And if you haven't, you're probably a millionaire and you could care less. If you are one of the fortunate ones and you would like some advice on what to do with the extra $1,400, well, look no further. Now, if you're like me and you want to know the inner workings of how stimuluses are created, why they're created, and how they are used, feel free to watch my other video on the topic, which goes into a little bit more detail surrounding that topic. Even more specifically, if you want some more advice on what to do with that $1,400, continue watching. There are countless conversations among financial news sources and financial media that actually give really good advice on what to do with that extra stimmy cheddar. The third round, no less, as we all triple down on the US economic recovery, as they say, third time's a charm. Yet, if you do find yourself a little apprehensive about spending, and no surprise there, you absolutely should be, you're definitely not alone in that regard. The bad times, I don't think, are that far behind us, and they still very well could be in front of us. Okay, so this brings us right to number one on the list, and that is this company's stock is showing massive potential during these COVID-19 pandemic times. And as the economy opens back up again, so does the demand for this company's product. And a lot of analysts out there actually believe it's undervalued. You might have heard of it, although you might not have. It's called do nothing. Yes, that's right, I said it. Do absolutely nothing with your money. And the reason why I say that is because there seems to be this overwhelming demand to spend money, newly acquired money, on things you don't really need, all for the sake of stimulating the economy. But is that a smart move financially considering current events? The short answer right out of the gate is, well, not really, and it turns out I'm not alone in that regard. In an article written by Ted Evanoff, he actually interviews Capital Green Square's co-founder Daryl Horn, who actually thinks the same way. You see, the average Joe can accomplish a lot with $1,400. You can buy a new flat screen TV, get a new refrigerator, buy new shoes, clothes, paint your house, go on a mini vacation, buy the new iPhone or Samsung, and do a lot with that $1,400. Or you can be lame and slow and boring and actually flex one of the most important financial skills out there in existence, and that is patience. What could be better than sitting back and relaxing just to see how everybody else is gonna play their card? And it turns out that's one of the best options you can do right now. I say this from the standpoint that I believe that this is a hard skill for a lot of millennials to learn of different age groups. We always have this need to be involved, whether through music, clothes, culture, social media, Instagram, YouTube, but playing the up and down game is the best way to show that you're involved. However, that might not be your best option. It's always been my understanding that you'd be 10 times more likely to have more money at the end of all of this than you would have if you had the desire to play all these different moves. Playing with crypto right now, day trading, market targeting, and all this, you'd be better off just taking it, putting it in your bank, and waiting. If you don't believe me, I can actually prove it. Take the most recent example of the Corona crash in April of 2020. If you invested your $1,400 stimulus check, you would have lost 34% in 2 days. That's $476. So if you do find yourself, you're all one of those people that find yourself a little stretched from month to month, having an extra $1,400 in your bank account is probably the best thing for you. It does provide peace of mind and a backup cash buffer in case of emergency. I'm certainly not suggesting that you hoard your money in your mattress, definitely not. Or you don't look for arbitrage opportunities, you definitely should do that. However, if you are very willing to let go of $1,400 right now, take a few steps back and decide what you want to do with it. Take some time to actually think about it and maybe put it towards an investment like a mutual fund or an index, and give yourself some time to cool off, or do nothing with it, or actually we'll just wait till market cools down to below average volatility. I know I'm about to play another boring card for you guys. However, I am trying to be as financially logical on this channel as humanly possible. So the number two thing that you could do with your stimulus check is pay down debt consumption. This is pretty much neck and neck with number one on the list because it does alter our credit scores. It does alter our capital management from month to month. And this is a very, very important thing to do, is manage your debt. So if you have extra money to spend, like the $1,400 Stimmy, keep that in mind. Now, we all have debt from time to time, whether or not it's good debt or bad debt. I still have debt too, or debt that we're currently repaying. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The important thing to remember here is the impact that a high debt could do on our lives, not just our credit scores, but our capital management as well. I say this because if you do have large amounts of debt, it's gonna affect your month-to-month income, your investments, and your livelihood too. I do want to highlight this because, say for instance, you're going to get a credit check somewhere, you want to get something, when they run your credit, debt to equity is a major contributing factor, and it does affect your purchasing power. So if you get that debt consumption under control, you'd be better off in the long run. This actually does hurt a lot of people's bottom line as well, because the month-to-month payment that you have to make on this high interest debt could potentially get worse and worse every single month. It has the ability to spiral out of control, and you definitely would want to manage that as much as possible. So case in point, there was this article written by the Motley Fool. They actually interviewed Warren Buffett, and he suggested that the same thing is to pay down high interest credit. He cites in the article the most obvious reason for that is to stop hemorrhaging money on interest payments that you would have to make every single month. And if you don't, it's just gonna get worse and worse. Of course, this makes perfect sense if you think about it, because the area of finance more likely to damage the average consumer are credit cards. After all, Americans are more likely to carry a significant amount of credit card debt, according to a reporting agency, Experian, the average amount being around $5,000. Of course, I know what you're thinking, that $1,400 isn't gonna make a dent on that $5,000, that $10,000, that large debt that you have looming over you. However, listen, hear me out. It does make a massive, massive difference because it does two things. Number one, it reduces the amount of payments that you have to make and the amount of times that high interest is charged on that amount. And no, it's not a financially savvy move to play defensive. You can't really show off and flex your gains on the gram, but overall it is pretty wise because you're going to save thousands in the future. This is the best way to do it. And lastly, that brings us to number 3 on the list of what I think you should do with your Stimmy money. And that if the other two options just aren't your thing, if you want to do something with it and you don't have any credit card debt, congratulations, you should definitely try to max out your retirement limit or 401k contributions. I say this because this is something that I always strive to do, and I think everyone else should strive to do this as well. I know personally, every single time I get my monthly income check, I always allocate it towards my retirement so that I meet the $6,000 limit at the end of the year. It's automatic, I don't have to think about it. If you are one of the fortunate ones where you actually work for a company that has a 401k, a matching 401k, which is awesome, congratulations, you definitely should consider investing that Stimmy money into that account, because if they're gonna match 100%, that's just free money sitting on the table. Thank you so much for that extra $1,400. Even if somehow it's a company that maybe gives you 30 cents on the dollar, still consider donating that Stimmy money towards your future, because that's still free money on the table. And if you're that person, you should definitely capitalize on that. Of what you decide to do with your stimulus money. I think the more practical application for when people get extra funds, and I know I gave my advice on the top 3 I think you should do, the more practical thing is paying for just general life expenditures. You know, you got a flat tire on your car that needs replacing, your printer is busted, you need an ink cartridge replacement, you got a light bulb that's burnt out. You gotta handle your business, general life expenditures pop up. And I personally think that that's where a lot of this stimulus money is gonna go. Me personally, even though I did give my recommendations, you should definitely think about that as well. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and click the like button so that YouTube knows that I'm alive on this channel. And if you wanna see videos just like this one, consider being a subscriber. And my name is Brent Bowers, and this is My Money. That's all I have. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, so I wanted to make this little side video here, completely unscripted, just me speaking speaking from the heart to the camera, I wanted to highlight a few things. I try my hardest to give financial advice or financial opinion from a very, very neutral perspective for the normal person, for the average person. And it came to me that we are currently going through a lot of hard times right now. Everybody out there is dealing with something. Everybody's dealing with something right now. You know, I am as well. You may have lost a loved one to COVID. Somebody could have lost their jobs. It's very difficult to find work right now. You get the whole COVID thing, this whole staying inside, mask mandates. Hopefully things are starting to look up, but I just wanted to highlight that we're all currently going through some shit right now. And I say that openly as I possibly can, because if you're watching this and you might feel alone, you're definitely not alone. Everybody is going through something very, very difficult right now. And it's very important just to hang on, because in reality, that $1,400 to the average person, that's a lot of money. That's a mortgage payment to a lot of people. That's getting out of debt. That's like buying groceries for their families. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. And I wanted to highlight that because I'm very, very fortunate. In what I do, I'm fortunate enough to have a camera to make YouTube videos about money and about investing. I have that time and I have a good job. And I realize that other people might not have what I have. So when I give advice on finance, I'm trying to give it to everybody. And I wanted to tell you that think about the small person. Think about the people that have their businesses tied up in this. They can't open, they can't make money. People that have lost loved ones, people that are, lost their jobs. It's very, very heartbreaking to know that. And I just wanted to speak to those people in particular that hang on as long as humanly possible, because we're all going through things. It's a very difficult time for all of us in the YouTube community, in the finance community, in California. So I just want to give my blessings to you guys. I know that you're dealing with a whole lot of damage right now, and I'm sorry about that. Be mindful of your spending, save your money, and hunker down, and just know that there are people out there that love you a lot. So just take that to heart. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a shout out that everybody is currently dealing with some shit right now. You're not the only one. And collectively, we can get through this. So, and that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.